DayZ's new FROSTLINE DLC releases on October 15th. Sakhal is a gorgeous map that will present new challenges to even veteran players on both console and PC. This guide will help you learn to survive without spoiling any of the cool locations that Sakhal has to offer. If this video helps you, please remember to like, subscribe, and check out my other guide and adventure videos. First thing you're going to want to do when spawning on Sakhal is get warm. Spawning in cold means that you have a ticking clock which will speed up exponentially once you start starving. This will happen faster than on Chernarus or Livonia because your character burns more calories when light or dark blue. Use the steak knife you spawned with or another bladed tool to grab 2 pieces of bark. Use your hands to gather 2 long sticks. Don't use the steak knife unless you have another blade. If you don't, you're going to want to save that steak knife for more important things like food and crafting. Break one of the long sticks down into short sticks and combine with the bark to make a hand drill kit. Place the remaining 2 sticks and a piece of bark in a fireplace and ignite them to get warm. Doing this right away is more important than finding food, water, or gear. Getting the heat buff will stop you from freezing to death and slow down calorie consumption, giving you more time to find resources that you're going to need for your journey. The heat buff has changed with the 1.26 update. There are 3 tiers to the heat buff. Tier 3 is unobtainable as a freshie with low insulation clothing, but you'll be able to get to level 2, which should buy you about 10 minutes before hitting dark blue again. This is enough time for you to find some food, some clothing, and maybe even a weapon. Pro tip, carry a torch with you in order to get the heat buff while on the move. However, the safest bet is going to be fishing. You can search the coast for boats and fishing supplies, or craft a fishing rod using rope and a long stick. The newly added wooden fishing hook can be carved from a short stick. There's also a new fishing system, which is super easy even without a worm. You'll catch a fish within minutes. When you see a splash, release the action and hopefully you'll pull in a fish. Cut it up, cook it up, and you've just bought yourself some more time for finding some starting loot. Be sure to wait until the temperature drops to warm before you consume the fish. Pro tip, you can eat caviar raw to give yourself some calories before cooking. Make sure you wash the blood off of your hands or wear gloves when cutting up fish to avoid getting sick. Alright, now that we have some food in the belly, we need to find some basics before we journey into the map. First, a backpack and warm clothing. Every clothing item has an insulation value, and you're obviously going to want to find a balance between inventory slots, protection, and insulation. Oh, and fashion. You're going to want to make sure that you look good while surviving. If you're lucky enough to find food on Sakhal, you'll notice that it's all frozen. You actually don't need to do anything to defrost your food. Carrying it on you will slowly thaw it out. But if you need it quickly, putting it on a stove will defrost it much faster. I find that you're going to need more than a 3-stick fire to defrost most foods. It's honestly irritatingly slow right now. Alright, so now that we have some supplies, we're ready to head into the exciting portions of the map, right? Wrong. Clean drinking water is one of Sakhal's biggest challenges. You can fill up a container with snow, but it is not safe to drink even when defrosted. All snow on the map has been tainted with heavy metals by the ash from the island's volcano. Boiling or cleaning the water with chlorine tablets is not enough. You're going to need chelating tablets, which can be found in industrial and medical buildings. This covers both heavy metal poisoning and cholera. There is a special item that makes staying hydrated a breeze, but that's verging on spoiler territory, so I'll probably cover it in another guide in the future. Before you leave town, you're going to need to find a spring. They are the only sources of clean drinking water on the map, and they are a pain in the butt to find. If you have a map, look for tiny blue wavy lines to find the locations of these springs. If you're mapless, look for hiking trails outside of spawn towns. Most spawn towns have these, and they always lead to a spring. If it seems safe, I recommend making a fire and just sitting here and drinking until your stomach is full, empties, and full again. Do this a few times before heading into the map. These springs get harder to find, so maxing out your hydration will save your life. Pro tip, water bottles and cooking pots that spawn with water are safe to drink if boiled or cleaned with chlorine tablets. However, you're taking a risk here, assuming that it spawned that way. Some jerk could have filled it up with snow and left it for you to find, eventually killing you. Boiling meat is another way to stay hydrated further into the map. It'll give you less calories, but it will increase the amount of hydration in each steak. If you happen to be eating bear or wolf meat, remember that it can now make you sick. As of the time that I'm making this, you can still safely eat the fat from predators with no issues. They might patch that in the future like they did with Kuru, so be careful. Regardless, if you pop a vitamin while eating and digesting your food, you're not going to get sick. And if you do, another vitamin or tetra will cure you quick. Speaking of vitamins, they're going to be your best friend on this map. Your immunity levels are based on your hunger, thirst, and temperature meters. When any of these are low, you're more likely to catch a cold. A cold can quickly turn to pneumonia, which can kill a full health player in 20 minutes. So the second you get that germ symbol, you're going to want to start looking for a fire and medicine. Tetra and vitamins can cure you, and if you need to suppress a cough in order to be sneaky, codeine will take care of it. My final slightly spoilery tip for you new Sakhal survivors out there: the hot springs that can be found in the center of the map may not be safe to drink, but they can give you the heat buff pretty quickly if you're willing to risk the snipers. That's it, guys. If you think I missed anything, please leave your tips for other survivors in the comment section below. I'll be making more loot route and other guides for Sakhal, so be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on those. Good luck out there.